The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
Well, the Wisconsin Badgers played their best game of the season last Saturday night in Denver. Unfortunately, the Pioneers prevailed 3-2. Wisconsin still winless, but back home to play 12 of the next 14 at the Kohl Center. I'm Brian Posick. Stay tuned. Head coach Mike Eaves joins us on the Badger Hockey Digest.
The Badger Hockey Digest is brought to you by Charter Communications.
Get 2 free tickets to Disney's Big Hero 6 when you add a line with U.S. Cellular.
Hello, I am Baymax.
Oh, hey, Baymax.
I am detecting an increase in heart rate.
Well, yeah, if you could just scoot over a smidge, I can go ahead.
I will scan you now.
Wait, I have to tell viewers how to get 2 free tickets to your...
Scan complete. Diagnosis? Excited.
Never mind. Anyone who adds a line with U.S. Cellular gets 2 free tickets to Big Hero 6 and network coverage that works where others don't. Big Hero 6, in theaters November 7th.
Hello. I mean, goodbye.
Well, the Badgers back from Colorado, where they fell to Colorado College 5-2, and then 3-2 to Denver on Saturday night. Mike Eaves is here with us. I tell you, the challenges going to Colorado. It was certainly beautiful weather. That was not a challenge whatsoever. But playing on a huge ice sheet like you did at Colorado Springs, and then coming back the next night in an NHL size rink that's 15 feet less wide than what you had played in the night before. Kudos to your young men, though. The fight that they put in against the Denver Pioneers on Saturday, top 10 team in the country, to fall a goal short, maybe a moral victory. Nevertheless, your team played extremely well and I think felt good about itself when it left Colorado.
It's interesting, if you go back to the first night in Colorado Springs, this coaching staff was trying to remember when we were freshmen many decades ago, what was it like to go into a place like Colorado Springs, where it's the biggest ice sheet perhaps in the country, and there was just a lot of wide-eyed, and we did not perform to the level that we have liked. We only got outshot by 2 shots. We didn't produce enough offense, but we felt that we left stuff off the ice. We didn't quite give it what we needed to do to win the game. But then you go to Denver, as you said, Brian, a smaller sheet of ice. And, we hadn't played in a couple weeks, so the guys were anxious to get back on the ice. And, if you look at the game statistically, like we broke down the game, we had the most hits we've had all year. We had 24 block shots, which is very high. The scoring chances, we outchanced them by 5 by our pound. Our power play was good. Yep. Our penalty killing did a good job. Again, there was a couple of bounces that you would like to have back. But overall, you look at stats and you think we should have won that game. I talked to Steve Alley, who's an alumni here with us, and his dad lives in Denver, and he watched the game, and he called Steve. He says, they deserved better, So, you talk about a moral victory, and as you walk into the locker room after the game, and I kind of pulled up a chair and kind of sat down with the boys. I said, fellas, it's hard to keep on it coming in here when you play well and not knowing quite what to say. But we went around the room, we talked about all the good things that we did, about each player, and it's just a matter of time before they're rewarded, because they're going in the right directions, and we're measuring ourselves now in our growth, and maybe not as much in our wins and losses, but we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think also some more feedback, not only from fans, but your players and your coaching staff. You're receiving feedback from other coaches. When Denver's head coach Jim Montgomery comes down and said, you played us tough tonight, or whatever he may have said, that just adds more fuel to the fire that, this is working. We're getting there. It's
interesting when other coaches say that, whether it was Dave Haxall saying you deserve better fate, or your kids played well. They know that the situation we were in terms of our youth. They've been there in their own coaching career, so they can appreciate what our kids are doing and the direction they're going. And again, with the growth that we're seeing, we're moving in the right direction, and that's something to be excited about.
Yep. 4 different Badgers scored their first goals of the season this past weekend, including a senior, Joseph LeBate. We'll talk about him and preview this weekend series against Ferris State in just a moment.
We'll be making a traditional octopus salad, drizzled with some olive oil and topped with a dash of salt and pepper.
At It's funny how seeing a clearer picture can lead you to see the bigger one. Get the most HD channels and the fastest internet on the most advanced fiber network. Charter Spectrum. Where will it take you?
Some call it a miracle. Others call it science. But for those who've needed a kidney transplant like Kelly Krager, they simply call it a new lease on life. For nearly 5 decades, UW Health and the University of Wisconsin have been national leaders in the field of kidney transplant, providing a new life for recipients and assuring a normal life for living donors. Miracle? Science? Maybe it's a little bit of both. UW Health. Remarkable.
Well, Jason Ford scored his first goal as a Badger on Friday night against Colorado College. Morgan Zelenik lit the lamp for the first time this season. Adam Rockwood with his first goal as a Badger on Saturday against Denver. And Joseph LeBate, the senior, potted one on a power play against the Pioneers as well. I felt good for Joseph. He's putting some pressure on himself to be a point producer for this hockey club, and it was good to see him get on the board. And you thought played his best weekend of the year.
He did, and I think that it's an interesting phenomenon when a young man is named captain or is a leader of a team. And all our kids go through it where there's an adjustment period. They think they have to be the end all to be all, be everything to everybody. And you can see it in Joseph's game now. He's comfortable in his own skin again, in terms of balancing his leadership role and being a hockey player on this team, a contributor on this team. And, he didn't try too hard. He just played hard. He did his part. When he had to step up and be a leader, he was in the locker room and such. So he's at that point where he has good balance in between those two things. And as a result, I think he's playing better and he was productive for us.
Yeah, and Joseph's playing on the left side with freshman Adam Rockwood. I mentioned Adam's goal on Saturday against Denver, cut the Pioneers' lead to 3-2. Here's a freshman cutting in on a veteran defenseman in Nolan Zajac and making a heck of a play late in the game to still give you guys a chance.
Oh, it was a big-time move, and actually we had talked about the fact in the video versus CC that we need to take the puck to the hard areas and take responsibility and make the play ourselves, and he took that puck right around the net and went to the hard area and tried to and stuffed it in, basically, and those are good signs. And it's nice as a coach when you can give reinforcement to things that you had said early in the day. See, it does work. And so it was good. Get that first one, and now he moves on from here.
And kudos to your fourth line against Denver, too. Jason Ford, Matt Poppy, Aiden Cavallini. They were physical, tough to play against, weren't they?
They provide energy. There was one shift there. Aiden had 3 big hits alone, and I know that he was sore after the game, but that's what they can provide. And they were doing the energy things, and they can do some, I think their role will grow as they get going here in terms of their details to their system, and they didn't take any penalties as a fourth line, because when you play with energy, sometimes you want to go outside the box, but they did a good job. They really provided us some positive energy on Saturday night.
All right, so it's the end of November. Wisconsin's played only 1 home series so far, now 12 of 14 at home through the end of January. You got a very good Ferris State program coming to town.
We do. Watching them this week, they get after it. They're an older team. Most of their freshmen are 20 years old, and so they'll be an older team, stronger team. They play well. Bob Daniels is one of the better coaches in college hockey. They recruit the type of kid that fits their mold. They play hard. They get after it. And they were in the regionals last year and lost to North Dakota in overtime. So they have great tradition, and it'll be another quality team they're playing, and we get a chance to prove ourselves against that. Looking forward to it.
Yep, and also an All-American goaltender by the name of C.J. Mott, who was a top 10 Hobie Baker finalist a year ago. Best of luck against Ferris State this weekend. Sure, that's Badgers head coach Mike Eaves. Wisconsin and Ferris State, they'll face off at 7 o'clock on Friday, and then Saturday night at 8 o'clock because of the late football kickoff at Camp Randall. No TV for hockey this weekend, but you can listen to both games on the Badgers Sports Network. For Mike Eaves, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.